Top Gun Maverick is making box office records at the theaters, so let's give it a review. In my humble opinion, this is one of the best action movies of the 21st century, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back to this video. As I was walking out of the theater, one beautiful thought came into my mind. This is the first time in years that we have a sequel actually surpass its predecessor. It managed to pull off something seemingly impossible, to take a story from 30 years ago and actually bring something new to the table. We didn't necessarily need a sequel to the Top Gun story, but Tom Cruise and the rest of the cast did an amazing job at trying to get us to care about characters in this 2-hour airplane extravaganza. I feel like the biggest success of this film is giving enough time for all of the characters to develop, specifically Miles Teller in the role of Rooster. The camaraderie element of the entire squadron and it being predicated on a leader to try to bring everybody into the mission alive. The camaraderie between the pilots is the entire emotional linchpin of a Top Gun story, just as it happened 36 years ago between Tom Cruise's character Maverick, Iceman portrayed by Val Kilmer, and Bradshaw's father named Goose. One thing that stood out to me the most is the amount of personality that the writers and directors were able to give each member of the pilot team. Remember, each one of the graduates from the Top Gun program is the top student for their class. And this mission, while it did seem a little bit ex machina in terms of its execution, was essentially impossible. But as the great Harrison Ford said once, you never tell a man the odds, especially when it comes to Tom Cruise. The banter between Fanboy, Payback, Bob, Hangman, and the rest of the crew is absolutely pristine. But in the end, it is Miles Teller's character of Rooster that serves as the core of the entire squad. He has a long history with Maverick, considering that Maverick is the one that pulled his papers out of the Naval Academy, which we then learn later on that he actually made a promise to Bradshaw's late mother to stop him from actually entering the army in the first place. But again, coming back into the movie, you know exactly what you came here for. Witty banter, snarky humor, and beautiful cinematic achievements. Do you need to watch the first one in order to enjoy this one? No, but it will definitely help because it has a ton of references and cameos to the original project. There are some scenes, photos, and references that are obviously recapped here, but after watching it a couple of days ago, I definitely suggest watching them back to back. Now, when it comes to action set pieces, this one is leaps and bounds above its predecessor. Tom Cruise and the rest of the production team were not kidding when they said the lengths that they had to get to in order to get these scenes. They are filming inside real fighter pilot planes, and that tension of having every single moment possibly be the last that these pilots gets to face is absolutely bone-chilling. Mixed in with a beautiful soundtrack that takes the old with the new, and you have a beautiful action movie. I never felt bored, I was fully engaged, and I never felt like this movie was dragging on, even though it has an over 2-hour runtime. With that being said, the plot itself is not overly complicated. You have the love story with Jennifer Connelly's Penny, a surrogate father story with Amelia, and obviously the estranged nephew in the terms of Rooster and Maverick. Obviously, we see Goose meet a grisly demise in the first movie, and he doesn't want to repeat those same mistakes with his son. The acting all across the board was absolutely exceptional, and we got a couple of cameos that obviously added some sweetness to the deal, especially Val Kilmer. In case you didn't know, the amazing Val Kilmer was a heartthrob in the 90s and the 80s, but he developed throat cancer in the 2010s, so he hasn't been acting very much since. Apparently, Tom Cruise went above and beyond to try to get him in this movie, and they actually wrote in that the character developed throat cancer in order to fully express the depth of the character and match him to Val Kilmer as best possible. So, while the human conflict may not be as interesting, the fight in the sky is absolutely breathtaking. Whether it be F-14s, F-18s, F-22s, or the new 5th generation fighters, everything in the air looks absolutely sublime. There are some moments that you're literally thinking, there's no way they caught this in real life, but they did. Flying across the canyon, doing the pirouettes and maneuvers, trying to practice dogfighting in the air, everything looks pristine. If you can suspend your disbelief in some of the crazier acrobatic moments or some of the dramatic, this is their last moment alive situations, especially during the invasion of the uranium plant, you're gonna have a fun time. I am not gonna lie to you, this is instantly in the top 5 movies of the year for me. I'm going to be watching it again sometime soon to get the Easter eggs and see if there's anything else that can shape my rating a little bit more, but this is honestly at a 9 out of 10. It could honestly creep into a 9.4, you never know. But again, these are just my opinions, so let me know what you thought about the movie and make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe with the notification bells on so you can get instant notice for whenever I post a video or whenever I go live. As always, mi familia, just crack a smile, ride the wave, and I'll see you on the next one. Plow!